Welcome to the NZ Nomad Runner Podcast. Good to be here. Good to be back. I'm Chris Lucas.
And I'm Charlotte Milne.
And we are co-hosts of this podcast and CMF Running run coaches. Hello.
Hello, welcome everyone. Hope you're enjoying whatever you're up to. If you're out there listening to us while you're on your run, in the car, doing the dishes, watching us. You could be watching us, just sitting on the couch watching us.
On the tube.
On the tube? Oh, yeah.
YouTube,
not on the train. I guess you could be listening to us on the train. But anywhere, wherever you are, whatever you're doing, welcome. I hope you get a lot out of this podcast.
Yeah, and it's Western States weekend as we record. It's Saturday afternoon here in New Zealand. June winter. And yeah, Western States weekend, pretty exciting. I have to say, it's always a great weekend for us. It's just guilt-free pleasure, really, isn't it? It's like I'm hunkering down, staying inside, most of Sunday because it starts midnight our time, which is fine. You don't need to see the start, whatever. And you sort of wake up a bit early on Sunday morning, set your alarm for 6 a.m. or something, and you're 6 hours into the race, and you're getting the finishes. Sort of finishing early to mid-afternoon, so it makes the Sunday so great.
Yeah, and if you're anywhere like Wellington or just obviously been winter, it's perfect. It's been pretty bitter and cold here the past couple of days, so it's really nice. Yeah, being inside, snuggling up, watching something we love, and watching amazing people do amazing things. And who knows? I have watched Western States before and gone out, felt super inspired, gone and had a run. So maybe that'll be you as well. Yeah, it's a good fun. I get well into it, obsessively checking and rechecking and just glued to the screen a bit with this kind of stuff.
Yeah, so we'll be catching the live stream on the Western States YouTube channel. And having some good yarns in the CMF Discord group, I'd imagine.
Yeah, for sure.
There's following along. There's a whole bunch. Yeah, everyone's into it.
Yeah, there really has been some banter going on. There's definitely some standout people. Ben Shea, Gareth Morris, to name names.
Yeah.
Love this kind of stuff.
Ben's awesome, dropping all the content into Discord. It's been great.
I think he's a big Killian fan as well, so it's actually I think he's just a fan of a lot of elites from what I gather. Jan Jones obviously as well.
Go DJ.
Yeah. So yeah, that's exciting. And yeah, we also have the Wellington Marathon on this weekend.
Yeah.
In little old New Zealand.
Yay!
And we have Jilly, who's doing the 10K racing. Jilly's awesome. She's awesome.
One of Coach Kendall's athletes.
And she's a lady in her late 60s or 60s, mid to late 60s, who is just found running late in life, and is just thriving with it. It's I think opened a lot of doors up to her, and you're never too early to start running, and you're never too late to start running.
Definitely. Yeah, she gets around to a lot of different events around the place.
Yeah.
Gets to enjoy, traveling to different places, new places, maybe places you haven't been for a while. Yeah, to enjoy events.
Yeah, and just,
pretty cool. Connect with people, have some runs.
Yeah, just grow as a person, really,
cool,
in lots of ways as well. Yeah, good work.
Very cool, yeah.
And yeah, just good luck to everyone, or if you're probably listening to this definitely post-marathon because we're not getting out today.
Yeah, so hope you had a good run.
Yeah. Hope you had fun. And yeah, fingers crossed the weather is all good.
I think it is,
yeah. I think it's better than the weather's improving already. So yeah.
Actually, I also know the Auckland Trail series is on the Shakespeare one. Hibiscus runners that we know.
Cool.
And quite a lot of our membership that is up that way and on the North Shore of Auckland. So don't know who's doing it, but it's on.
It's on. Yeah, I'm sure there's other events on. So no matter what event you're doing, or if you're just like us, and a lot of us just going out training towards our next goal, our next race, and just enjoying what running can do for us and the company and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, so what did we do this morning on that note?
Well, I sort of had a bit of a rest day.
Tell us about your yesterday morning.
So, truth be known, I haven't always done a lot of group runs, but it's something I'm trying to work on. So I got up at 4:30 actually, and
4:30 a.m. yesterday morning, Friday morning, which means I also had to partake in the getting up at 4:30 a.m.
Good thing you're such a good partner. Appreciate you.
Yeah.
But anyway, yes, Chester in Wellington has started a group run called Frictoria. So it's we run down Mount Victoria, and the Fic is from Friday. So you meet there at 7 at the top of Mount Victoria at 7. And so I wanted to go to this run for a while, and I had some work out there that ways. So I ended up parking in Lyle Bay, which is about 4 or 5 k's away from the top of Mount Victoria. And I ran there in the dark, and it was like pretty bloody windy, like crazy windy.
Yeah. Yesterday was crazy.
Yeah. And I was like, what am I doing? Who's going to turn up?
No one will be there. The run will be cancelled.
Like, doubly check my phone. Maybe Chester's cancelled it. But no, he hadn't.
These Wellingtonians, mate. They'll run anything.
Pretty much, felt like a true Wellingtonian yesterday.
Nice.
But anyway, made it to the top.
Part of the gang now.
Yes, made it to the top. Thanks to Google Maps. And I sort of knew where I was going, sort of didn't. And then we ran down, and then we went to the Shelley Bay Bakery and had coffee and scone and yarns, and then we dispersed again. So the run basically is just from
more about the socials afterwards, I think.
I think so. The run itself, the group run itself, is actually quite small. It's from the top of Mount Victoria to Shelley Bay Bakery, which I think probably took us like 20 minutes. I'm not sure on the exact Ks, maybe 25 minutes. And with Mount Victoria, there's lots of ways to get down, actually. So we went down the most sheltered way, I think, which was actually down the road, but you can take sort of more trail paths as well.
All the trail options, yep.
Yeah. So there's that. So, but you find your way to the top however you want. Obviously, you're going to have to run up at some stage, whether you park at the top at the start. But yeah, it's not too bad of a hill, I guess.
It's a cool little concept. I like it. It's like the run starts on top of the hill.
Yeah.
So you gotta, you're either gonna run up or drive up. If you choose to drive up, then you're gonna have to run up afterwards, or somehow get up there. It just creates this cool little story of logistics. And then kind of works well with like a fitting it into Friday morning and getting some good social time after a run.
Yeah. And then I made my way back to Lyle Bay, which is basically...
Oh, yeah. So your logistics was getting back to Lyle Bay,
Yeah. Which I basically ended up running...
It's like a Friday long run.
Was a bit. I ended up doing like 14 Ks in like half-ish. Combination of looking at where I was going on the map, a few slight wrong turns. More on the way back, actually. I was had to go up some of these stairs to like... a higher road, and it was just it was fun. But anyway, long story, it was good. It was good fun, slightly out of my comfort zone, but you got to do these things to grow as people. I'll definitely will be back. Chester suggested I come once a month because obviously it is quite the drive.
For us, we're in Whiteman's Valley, which is near Upper Hutt, so it's a good 40-minute drive, eh?
Yeah, it just depends on obviously where you how you do it. Like driving is quite to the centre of town, really. But anyway, it is an effort. But that's what we do as runners, you know. We drive all sorts of places, we get up at all sorts of hours to go for a run, and it's good fun.
So great to connect with people. You always feel better afterwards.
Yeah, definitely.
I am, that's one of my goals for this year, because this last year, since we moved here, we had a more permanent pack up. I was doing a lot of hours in the bus driving job, and a lot of CMF work, and a lot of athletes and coaches, and just a lot on. And now this year, my kind of goals are, balancing out the work somewhat, and allowing structured training back into my life in a nice way. And part of that is being able to get out onto some group runs as well. So that's part of my goals this year as well, is to attend some more runs, or at least have the freedom of choice to be able to do that. The energy and the time to do it as well.
For sure. Because you're on your path. You've got a coach.
I've got a coach, man, Coach Curley. Shout out to Coach Curley, coach me. One of our awesome CMF coaches based in New South Wales. Yeah, that's my big goal because we are heading, I think we've already mentioned this maybe, but we're heading back to UTA next year. And I'm in for the miler. You're in for the 100K. Yeah, it was quite just an inspiring thing from us going there, attending, and doing all the course recce's. We've still got heaps of YouTube videos to come out about all those course recce's too, by the way. But it was just quite inspiring. It's one of those things, we went there and it's like, man, I want to come back and do this, like as the event.
Yeah,
it's so cool. Great vibe, great course, great area. So that's the journey.
Yeah, for sure.
And I wanted to do it, didn't want to do it alone. I wanted the help of a coach. I didn't want to be periodizing my training for the year, or thinking about that, or what to do, or this block is for that, and this block is for that. I wanted to just, Carolee, that's you. What was that?
That was the seat.
Oh my god. That was a funny moment. We may or may not edit that out.
Yeah.
It was quite funny though. So nice to it's nice. It's given me some nice perspective, because it's been quite some time since I've been coached, quite a number of years actually. It was in my early days of my own sort of coaching journey that I was coached by my first mentor, Will O'Connor. So it's been several years, really, 5 or 6 years since I've had a coach.
Time to level up your running, eh?
Time to level up my running. That's what we do, and that's what we do at CMF. Yeah. When you're ready to level up your running, had enough of trying to work it all out yourself, following ChatGPT and apps, and making your own plans, or doing what your mate said in the group run, all that kind of stuff.
Well, that's quite a pertinent leadway onto our actual topic of the podcast, actually. But we have a few other announcements as well.
So just closing on the UTA thing. Because I think when do the entries go on sale, do you know? UTA? I think it's around July.
Yeah, I was going to say July too.
Yeah. So it would be cool if some more of you guys came over. It'd be cool to have some more more Kiwis come over, more of our CMF community, NZ Nomad Runner Podcast community, come on over.
Yeah,
be
great
cool
to see you.
See
you all there.
Come over.
Do a shakeout run.
Yeah, that would be so cool.
Yeah.
How cool would that be, to doing a shakeout run on? Well, actually, the shakeout run would need to be on Thursday, because the miler starts on Friday morning.
Right, yeah. So it's 100K, but that still works. So you can do a shakeout run 2 days beforehand as well. So yeah.
Yeah. So it'd be cool, and if you want help getting there, of course, reach out to us. And I think this virtual challenge is a cool thing too.
We're on the vert. We're
just talking about hills. Yeah.
Vert theme. I feel like doing vert in winter is actually something really satisfying about it. I don't know. I just like doing vert in winter because I'm doing the vert challenge is. So it's the virtual challenge with Trail Running NZ. Yeah, so you're taking vert in the fact that we're all virtual. You can do it wherever you want, whether it's in New Zealand or overseas. It's a challenge by Trail Running NZ, New Zealand. So where you basically have to, it starts on the 1st of July, and you start any distance, but it has to be 100 meters. And you obviously have to run up and down, and each day you add on 100 meters. Pretty easy concept. Day 2, 200, day 3, 300, 400, etc., until the last person is standing.
That's an interesting, It's sort of like last person. It's sort of like a backyard.
Yeah, and then it actually is, because if there actually happens to be 2 people that make it to day 31 doing 3,100 meters of vert plus all the other vert that they've done that month, it's the person that finishes that 3,100 fastest.
So it's kind of like the hot lap concept. Like a blue lake.
Yeah, except you'll be running like 80 Ks or something, I don't know. Or maybe 50 Ks. I don't know. Anyway.
It's going to be so interesting to see how far the furthest people get it.
Yeah.
It's going to be interesting. It was like a bit of an unknown. But I think this has got the legs to be a yearly thing, I reckon. So
it's pretty cool.
I think it's pretty awesome concept and a cool time of year as well.
Yeah, like you can walk and stuff as well. I did actually just clarify on the group if you on Strava it has to be a run, like a run activity, or if it has to be a walk activity. But I'm sure walking is fine. It's just you have to get you have to get 100. Anyway, 100, 200 each day. If you want to know more, check out. Anyone can join. It's free. I'll put the link in the description below.
Yes.
And you can find out more information.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm going to do it.
That's the 1st of July.
1st of July.
So you should, it might be, if you're listening to this, it's going to be a quick decision to commit. It's almost going to be the 1st of July.
Yeah, but we'll be able to talk about it.
As the month progresses,
Yes, because we are doing these weekly now.
And because it's in the Strava group, the Trail Running NZ, there's a specific Strava group for this challenge, this virtual challenge that Bradley set up. So
yeah. So we're all going to be in there together. I think there was, last time I looked, there was 100 people doing it. 100 people,
I just want to be in there spectating.
Well, you probably can join. I don't think they're going to be auditing who's not doing it. They're just going to be auditing who's doing
Chris,
it. Yeah, giving us a flick.
I'll just do day 1, 100 meters.
It's so cool,
it feels so easy. It's sort of like a backyard. It just feels so easy at the start. The hardness just sneaks up on you.
Week 1, I reckon. Week 1, if you have done some training and you live in a hilly area, week 1 is fairly manageable, I think. Because I think I worked out, might get this wrong now, but I'm pretty sure it's 2,000.
I remember you saying 2,000 odd meters.
I remember if I said 2,100, 2,700. Anyway, it sounded somewhat doable.
But then once you get into week 2, it starts to because you're not getting a day off as well. That's the thing as well, right? You're not getting a recovery day or 2.
Yeah, because I think by Wednesday or day 3 or 4 in the week 2, you've done 5,000 meters for that week. But it's when things are continuous, weeks lose meaningless because there's no reprieve. It's just day 8. Day 10, instead of week 2.
So if you've got some good quads going into it, you've got a better chance of going, further along.
Yeah, or just being sensible around how you do it as well.
Yeah, don't bomb the downhills.
Or just
earlier. Just take your time.
Yeah. Or just try get some bang for your buck. Especially
we were talking about the courses to do, was that? Going, mountain climbing would actually be good because it's really good bang for your buck for vert to kilometer ratio, and the terrain's quite easy.
Yeah. I think there's heaps of places. I've already thought about some places that I'm gonna do, and you can make.
We're very lucky down here in the Wellington region. There's just
you could take me to some new places as well if things are going well. I obviously don't want this to. I'd be interested to see how it go for one, because I have a tendency to think that I'm some amazing athlete that can do this really hard shit.
I'm going to win it.
Yeah, I'm not going to win it, but I'd be interested to test myself, but also I'm doing the woo on, I was going to say on day whatever, but it was on the 15th, which ironically is day 15 now, and it's around 1,500 meters. But anyway, I am doing that. So
I wonder if that's by design.
conflict. I don't want to be ruined for that conflict of goals, and I think this is just a whole topic in itself, like how to navigate these things without getting injured, which is again another ping point of the podcast. So
because we're not usually a fan of challenges, are we?
No, and I think
historically we're not normally a fan because they sort of they can be positive and a negative, can't they?
Yeah.
And when it comes to training and managing load and that kind of thing, it's a really interesting one.
Yeah. I have a goal of trying to, definitely doing the first week. But I've been putting in some vert recently, so hopefully that will be helping. So that's that.
Yeah, she's been getting plenty of vert. Yeah. I won't be participating.
No. The seat is not good.
We're going to need to build something on that. On that note, the Carousel Backyard Ultra video titled "This Is Bullshit" is now released on YouTube, and recommend going to check it out. It's about 50 odd minutes long, so it's a proper documentary style length. We have not watched it yet. We will do though, and we'll talk more about it next week possibly.
Yeah,
but go and watch it.
Another activity you can be doing on a nice winter's afternoon after you've done your training.
Yeah. If you're sick of, if you need a break from the Western States content that you've been dining out on in preparation for tomorrow, go and check that out instead.
So don't watch something that's not running related. Just go watch something else running related though.
Yeah. You're not allowed to watch anything else.
No.
Yeah.
No.
So looking forward to watching that. And our last announcement is we've got an exciting. Our last announcement is that we have an announcement.
Ew.
Our last general notice, is that we have an exciting announcement in the next week or so.
Yes, it's exciting.
So looking forward to bringing that to you.
Yeah.
Just stay tuned. Stay tuned for that.
That is a cliffhanger if I haven't never heard of one.
Yeah. Stay tuned to the NZ Nomad Runner Podcast for that exciting announcement. All right, on to today's topic. Why do I keep getting injured? That is going to be the title of this podcast and the thumbnail. And it's what runners who keep getting injured, that's what they ask. That's the question. They throw up their arms. Why do I keep getting injured?
So basically, if you identify with two or more of these things we're listing, you probably are doing these things wrong. We're not going to go through a list. Try not to go through a list as such.
Although we have got a big list.
Yes.
Yeah.
But we're just going to list them off, and then there you go. Go sort it out yourself.
Yeah, I think the theme is there's sort of no silver, like everything with running and training, is there's no silver bullets answers. Often injuries could be a result of a few of these points that we're going to talk about with in relation to getting injured. It's not just one thing a lot of the time.
I think it's probably go off on a big tangent to start off with, but why you do keep getting injured is that you are actually ignoring some of these things that we're listing. And again, that is a problem in itself as well. Like, why are you ignoring these sort of signals, the red flags, and you keep sort of pushing through because you think next time it will be different. That in itself can be a bit of a problem because quite often a lot of runners, they start running for a particular reason, to do with often mental health. You feel better going out for a run, whether that's just a daily mental health thing or if it's a bigger mental health thing. And we start off running with a hiss and a roar, it works, but then we find ourselves that we're getting injured, and it could be simply things like you're running too much too often or racing too much too often. Obviously, there is a smorgasbord of events, and it's hard to decipher which ones to do when, so we do them all because that's just the easy answer. More is better, right? Except it's not. So maybe, you're running too much too often. And
or too fast too often.
Yes, or too much sexy stuff and not enough plain Jane stuff. Those intervals, they're very sexy.
Yeah.
But sometimes you just got to run 6:30s, or 6s.
Or 5:30s. Whatever your
easy pace is. But sometimes your easy pace is slower than it should, you think it is.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Well, there's that guy or girl who goes to a lot of group runs, and you see this quite often. Where the group is like a lot of advanced runners, and then you can like attend this group run and go like a few times a week, but then you end up doing all your, the 80% of your runs are with this group and fast. You're going moderate to hard just regularly.
Yeah.
And there's a big accumulation of, fatigue and...
Yeah, just not enough foundation.
Yeah.
And, we're just dotting all over the place on our list here. But I think that was also a big thing that could be the reason that you're kind of doing all that is because you're comparing yourself to others. And so...
The Strava trap, eh?
Yeah. And also, how long have you been running for? Maybe you've only been running for 2 years and you're comparing yourself that's someone that's been running their whole life, since they were a teenager. So you guys are probably you're not on the same sort of level of like foundation. And we all come from, maybe we've been running for 2 years, but you've had a huge sporting background in another sport. So again, that's different again. So it's just like, I think a lot of why I'm getting so injured so often has been kind of honest with yourself, and getting to know yourself. So instead of running too much too often or too fast too often or too much sexy stuff and not enough plain Jane is figuring out what you can handle sensibly. What is the right mix for you? Because right today, so if you kind of like train appropriately and get enough of that foundation, for the year of 2026, for example, this is what you can handle. You've done that well. So, in 2027, you can handle a little bit more, and so on and so forth. It's just building that foundation, so that you can, if you have a desire to run, a bit more, or a bit faster, or doing a bit more workouts than you may start off doing, then, you just have to be patient.
A lot of it is foundational stuff, isn't it? The contribution to injuries, foundation or lack thereof. Just not adjusting to current life circumstances, I think, is another one, as well. Someone could be have a lot more time and capacity and space in their life this year, but next year they might have taken on a new job and have another 3 other new commitments and things that they're doing in a couple of evenings a week. And then so all of a sudden your ability to recover from that higher training load becomes a little bit compromised as well, like things like that. And it sort of feeds into your point about just, getting to know yourself and what your capabilities are and where you're at in your running.
Yeah, for sure. And I think, fortunately we all get older. So, in your 20s, you can get away with, not doing strength training, which could also be another reason you get injured. And you're not stretching, which is another reason that you're not getting injured. Or you can go out and just run hard after not running for 5 weeks, In your 20s, typically you probably don't have that many commitments. You might not have kids yet. Your career you're either at uni still, which is obviously stressful in its own way, but your career is, just started. But in your 30s, you might have an established career. you might be married, you might have kids, and suddenly like you are getting little niggles more often than you did in your 20s. So all of that kind of stuff, that stress, even though it's great getting married, having kids, getting a career, having a career and all that stuff, it's really good stuff.
Having a big mortgage.
Yeah, all that stuff does come out in your body. And if you're like trying to...
it's just stress, isn't it? It's just stress.
Doing those things that you did in your 20s might not work in your 30s. And it might not mean that you have to like, spend 15 hours of training in the week trying to get, enough strength and like, thinking about it, recovering and all that kind of stuff. It might just be just tweaking a few things so that you,
find your sweet spot again.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, it's all about finding your sweet spot, isn't it? Like at any given week or time or period.
Yeah, and it's just sort of knowing the red flags as well with your body. So, if you, I guess it's also kind of talking about what we talked about before, like if something comes up as a little niggle, and you don't do anything about it except maybe keep running on it, opposed to like, going to see a physio or having a few days rest or going to the chiro, getting a massage and just leaving it, like it will obviously manifest into a full-blown injury.
Left unchecked. And
then like, sometimes we figure out how to manage a niggle, and then
I'm guilty of that.
Yeah, for sure. And we have like, in our toolbox, we have some strength exercises that help it. And then, we go to the physio, we get a massage, and then we like look at our running, like what we've been doing lately. And it's like, oh shit, I've been doing like, 15 hours lately back on back, but I should be doing more like 12 hours, or maybe it's like 8. And oh shit, I've been doing 10. It's like that few hours extra that you've been doing could be a little bit too much for you. And it's just like, oh, okay, well maybe I should have to go back to, running sort of around this many hours or that kind of thing, or cumulative training, hopefully.
Periodization is another one, like that's worth mentioning, because this might sound like we're saying, you can't challenge yourself, because training in itself is the challenging of yourself, to get adaptations, isn't it? So, we do want an athlete, like when we train someone, we want to challenge them to build that resilience, to build that adaptation, but then having that easy week in the right place. So, it's not about not being challenged. It is absolutely about being challenged and, to grow in your running, but it's about, in the right places, isn't it? And some people can tolerate, like an advanced athlete, for example, it can be like 3 or 4 weeks of like a block of training and then a deload a week, whereas other folks are like 2 weeks of like, challenging training and then a deload week. So it's also about that sweet spot thing again, is finding that spot that everyone has.
And I think like, funny enough, by sort of doing the opposite of these things that we're listing, or ensuring that you do get, adequate recovery or do the strength kind of thing, like it does open those little doors to like, to be able to challenge yourself more, it's just, like Chris said, ensuring that you're prioritizing things, and doing what you can handle right now.
Because ultimately this is going to lead to the number one principle really in getting better at running, and that's consistency. So getting all the, this is how I explain it to athletes. Sometimes it's about getting all your levers pointing the right way, getting all the dials pointing the right way, and it's ultimately going to lead to just better outcomes. So it's going to lead to more consistent running, and because we don't need to stop for sickness or injury. You could change the title of this podcast to "Why Do I Keep Getting Sick?" too, by the way.
That's
another one too. But because they're typically the things that will get in the way of consistency and progress with athletes, is niggles, injuries, extreme fatigue, or sickness.
Yeah. You're just putting your body under too much strain, really, right? You're just pushing it too much than it's capable of. And, it's another really sort of obvious low-hanging fruit thing is like not getting enough recovery between runs. So, maybe your sleep is poor and there's lack of rest. You're always buzzing around to the next thing. And then, if you're buzzing around to the next thing, maybe you're not fueling enough, or your nutrition is...
because you're not stopping to eat. You're just go, that personality type, eh?
Which is probably pretty typical of runners. So, we do a run and we need to recover. Whether that, and obviously the bigger the run or the more intense the run, probably the more recovery we need. But, you need to make... People sleep, and we all sleep differently, and there's lots of ways that you can look at sleep, but obviously in your sleep, like, that's when we do most of your recovery. So, things we can change with sleep is making sure that you get enough hours of sleep, like
at the right time as well.
Yes. And then things like magnesium and things like that can obviously help a lot with sleep. Or just obviously running is really good for ourselves and our mentality, but sometimes it's like a little bit harder on our like nervous system and things like that,
which can affect the sleep too.
It can affect So maybe you have to do like it's like find it hard to rest, like maybe you have to try to do some sort of meditation, or just lie there with your eyes closed and you might not be asleep. Just if you're finding yourself like a person that finds it hard to stop, like, you're gonna have to force yourself to stop and rest. It's okay to rest, and it's really key to be able to train consistently. Without recovery, you're just going to get injured. There's just no two ways around it.
It's just sort of blocking progress too, isn't it? It's like it's just self-sabotage.
Another typical thing of runners, I think.
It's just it's putting barriers in the way of your progress, really, because if you're not if you're not eating like adequately or fueling your training adequately, then there's a good chance you're probably not sleeping adequately or enough as well. Those two things are quite common, isn't it, with individuals, I find. That's not giving yourself the best chance of progressing with your running, because from a coach's point of view, we've worked with athletes of this type who struggling with sleeping, struggling with fueling, struggling with food, and it's quite hard to progress their training, isn't it? Like, it's hard. We can't progress this individual type's training like we could with someone else who is looking after all these things, because ultimately, if we go and like start loading up the volume or the sessions, then it's going to cause them issues, isn't it?
Yeah, for sure. And if you're waking up at 2 a.m. in the morning and you're hungry, you're not fueling enough. That's just really obvious. And like, I've definitely done that, just underfueled, overtrained, woken up at 2 o'clock in the morning, hungry.
Big red flag.
And nutrition, and fueling, like, obviously I think some people find, sweet, more food, easy as. And then some people probably find it a little bit harder. Maybe more females. Obviously males probably the same. Just fueling your training and eating enough, and eating enough of the right food
at the right time.
Nutrition is a big topic, and there's a million ways to skin a cat with nutrition. But just getting in the basics of making sure every run is fueled, even your easy run, not fasting.
Fasted training.
That is just a way to obviously get injured, or like when you do come to fueling, you can't fuel because you've just put your stomach under like too much stress. And so there's an often myth, it's like, I can't fuel when I run, or I feel better when I've fasted. It's not a good thing. Your stomach needs to get used to being fueled while running.
I just smashed a scone and a coffee today and then went for a run. So I met up with one of my athletes.
Nice.
Down the road too, It can be done. It can be done, folks.
It can be done. And this is a topic where it might require like some outside help from your coach, like an actual nutritionist, and that is something that you might have to look at doing, and be willing to look at it, and sort of change fixed ideas or preconceived ideas or content prior to investigation with nutrition, especially like maybe if I eat more, maybe I'll gain weight. It's a really easy one I can think of right now. But in my experience, I've actually eaten more, and I think I've been like leaner, and you hear that quite a bit. And another trap sometimes is like this for myself, like I can sort of base train and eat the certain amount, and then suddenly my training has increased, but my fuel hasn't increased.
Yeah. I was about to mention that earlier. Yeah.
And
get caught out.
Yeah, and you're just like, why does my stomach always feel like it's running from a tiger? That kind of like, not that kind of like. How do you know what I mean? Like that.
Yes, like urgent hunger.
Yeah,
or a flat, like why is my mood low? Why do I feel like crap?
Yeah.
Why do I feel low? I got caught out with that because my training's starting to just, not that my training was increasing, it's just that I wasn't really doing that much to begin with.
It is increasing.
Yeah, so it has increased. Yeah. Week to week, what I'm saying is week to week the sort of volume or whatever hasn't increased, but what I have done is accumulated some weeks.
I think sometimes it accumulates.
Just accumulating some weeks from maybe not having accumulation of weeks prior, that is increasing of training. Yes. Because you're not just doing 1 week of training and then going back to bugger all. You're accumulating some runs, accumulating 3 weeks in of doing the same runs. If you weren't doing much prior, can all of a sudden be like, I had that.
Yeah.
Why am I feeling like crap? I need to up that fueling and up that food again.
Yeah, well, if you're just
periodization of nutrition as well.
Another red flag is if you're like not feeling hungry. So again, running can get you stuck in that flight or fight situation a bit, and then kind of remove that hunger signals. And I know when I've also like in big training blocks, like my appetite is so funny. It starts off, I'm not hungry, starving, and then I go back to not being hungry, but I need to fuel. So two things, like if you're not eating enough, you'll be stuck in flight or fight and you won't be hungry, or you're doing heaps of training and you need to fuel more, but you're like, I don't feel hungry. Sort of like two situations where you need to make sure that you're eating enough. But I think this is a good opportunity to plug Hannah.
Oh yeah.
If you're like, oh yeah, this is me, and for maybe it's because you get injured, or maybe it's because you get flat, check out Hannah from Real Health Sports Nutrition.
Also one of our CMF coaches.
Yeah, she can help you as well.
She's helped a lot of our athletes.
So it's a big topic. We've gone on long enough about that one.
Yeah. So yeah, that's an awesome one. And I guess sort of which segues nicely into that one. Another one of these challenges is sort of why do I keep getting injured, is underlying health and autoimmune issues is quite a common one. I have an autoimmune health issue background, things that I just have to be a little mindful of when I'm training and in my life. But yeah, if I was to, and these kind of things, can impact my recovery as well. Actually, they're quite interrelated. As well. It's quite interrelated to food as well, actually. A lot of that sort of stuff. But yeah, having underlying health and autoimmune issues can affect the reason why you're getting injured regularly.
Yeah, and I guess that's also, if you're aware of an autoimmune issue, like, maybe that, again, requires some outside help from a coach, or, you have ways of managing it due to getting outside help, or, it's knowing the red flags, or it actually is something like, you don't know that you have as well, and that's why you keep getting injured. It's not uncommon, autoimmune issues. And
in today's world, autoimmune issues are so common.
They're a hot topic on the old sort of issues. So maybe that's something that you need to look at. I kind of wrote down, I think that another sort of underlying health issue is kind of linked to the mindset thing, like the self-sabotage. Like if you sort of like tell yourself all sorts of like bullshit, to put it bluntly.
We are what we say we are.
Yeah, like I was quite guilty of a few years ago saying like, oh, I can't handle more than this amount of training. So I put like a barrier or like a hard and fast, I think it was like a number of hours or numbers per week of runs. Like if I go over this amount, I'm going to be tired. I have a sort of a history of more getting burnt out than injured, but I've also had niggles as well. But, as soon as I stop saying, oh, when I get to, if I run more than 60 Ks, I'm going to get tired, I stopped telling myself that, and I can handle more than that today, if I want to. And, I think with the, sort of linked back to the nutrition, like if you have some underlying health issues around like food and body image and all that kind of stuff, can be another sort of trap of getting injured. You're putting all these sort of mental barriers in front of your running. And I think it kind of circles back to what I was also saying earlier is like we all start running for a reason, and sometimes we need to address that reason. We can't outrun our problems. Running is therapy, but it's not a therapist. Sometimes we have to like sort of counselors or therapists or whatever it looks, that kind of personnel in conjunction with our running. And I think that's part of the running journey for some of us. I, for one, this is a big area of things with my running. It's like your body image and all that kind of stuff. I don't know, I'm getting emotional. But it's something that
big topic,
big topic. Like running has caused problems, and it's also helped me get out of the problem while looking at a lot of other areas of my sort of who Charlotte is through various things. So
such a great journey, isn't it? Really, like, and that's one of the things I've said. When I've worked long term with athletes that I've coached, it's like you come for the running, you come for the run coaching, but stay for the life coaching.
Yeah.
Because, I came here for my running. I came here to get better at running, but I'm staying here for the life stuff. Because. And that's, I'm not like a life coach or anything like that, but it's just that sort of thing of like, we share our own experience with athletes, and we sort of go on this growth journey together. And, and sometimes it is stuff like that. Worked with an athlete for a while, made heaps of gains with their running, and then there's like some things that are identified that are blocking them from getting to the next level. And so sometimes it's like, hey, I know so and so, I reckon you should go and talk to that professional in that field and get help. And hey presto, it's another blockage, another barrier, another thing, another one of those dials that are talking about getting them turned the right way, and then it's another running breakthrough.
Yeah, and I think like that kind of stuff can be like way down the list in terms of things that we've, listed today. Definitely, there's some low-hanging fruit, sort of easy ones that just require a bit of humility, actually. With the, not, I have to do 100K weeks, have to be 5:30s as well, that kind of classic thing. Like that. If you're willing to make a change, those kind of changes should be easy to make.
So low-hanging fruit, too much too often, too fast too often, not doing your strength and maintenance kind of work, or rolling, and that's some real low-hanging fruit stuff.
Yeah, because it's just either adding in some more training, like the strength and maintenance work, that's adding more training, but you could be decreasing, obviously, in other areas. So, it's just getting that training mix right. Obviously the recovery and the nutrition is, I think, just a work in progress for a lot of us, or identifying issues, and then go on and so forth and so on.
And like there's some lower level kind of things that we kind of had down here. Incorrect shoes and incorrect form. I kind of feel like we listed those two things because they get way too much attention in this part of the conversation. So there's folks out there, for example, that will be like, I've got shin splints, must be incorrect shoes. I'm going to go and buy another $300 pair of shoes. It's like, I'm going to throw down some cash, getting this another box of shoes, and this nice,
happy.
this nice thing that I can open and put on. A lot of it's not that. Obviously, sometimes it can be, but there's a much higher chance, on the basis that your shoes aren't like, oh, and really whatever, done heaps of Ks in them or whatever.
Or they just happen to be the wrong shoes for your wrong feet. Like that can happen as well.
Yes. Yeah. But you would have discovered that probably earlier than It is sort of down the list. In a general sense, it's more likely to be some of these other things we talked about.
Yeah, I would agree. It's really easy to outsource our problems, right? And that's, buying shoes is part of running, but it's, kind of outsourcing the injury, even though, at the end of the day, we have to make some changes, to not get injured or prevent ourselves from getting injured.
Accept some stuff about ourselves.
Yeah.
That kind of thing.
Mature.
Yeah.
Mature, accept.
Get help. Ask for help.
Yeah, just all these things that we have to do to just not get injured.
Yeah.
But no, it's awesome. This is, I think, running is a great springboard for, making our life pretty blooming awesome. Discovering more about ourselves, pushing ourselves, getting ourselves uncomfortable, all that kind of stuff.
Cool. The last thing I'm keen to talk about, it's on our list we haven't covered, is following a misguided or misinformed training schedule, or an app training schedule that's not suited for you. This is something in today's world that we see a lot of, because it's really easy for runners, especially runners that are, in their first couple of years of their journey. They can sign up to an app, or they can go and buy a ready-to-go plan, or some watered-down version of coaching that's actually, just ready-to-go plans. And that training schedule is not suitable for you. So the schedule isn't, that training schedule's more built for like an event or a distance, without taking into account, you, the athlete, as the individual, and your what makes you up of all these things that we've talked about. So I think that's a really common reason where runners are getting injured, because they get a plan and we're sticklers for plans. I've got to follow the plan because I want to get this outcome. I want to get the sub 3 marathon or the sub 3:30 marathon, and I'm going to follow this plan to get this outcome. In relation to marathon times and stuff like that, maybe someone's a 4-hour marathoner, like in reality, but they sign up to an app or something, and they are like, I'm shooting for a 3:30 marathon. And then so a lot of these ready-to-go plans, they're going to prescribe your paces based on your goals that you have come up with in your head. They're not prescribing the training for you based on your ability as it is today, and that's what we do as coaches. When we're prescribing training, we're prescribing training for you based on your ability today, because in order to get the best out of you to go forward, we're not giving you dumb training which is because even if you're actually a 4-hour marathoner, but you're following some 3:30 marathoner plan, even your easy pace is going to be way too fast for you. You're going to be getting prescribed easy runs that are like 5:30 to 5:45 pace. And in reality, if you're a 4-hour marathoner, it should be like 6:15, 6:20, that kind of pace. And so it's a huge difference. like in terms of like just load that you're going to be carrying, and it's not going to give you the adaptations actually like that that you need in order to be successful even at a 4-hour marathon. So that's a real common one.
Yeah, I would second what you just said, and the only thing that I would sort of add on is just like be careful where you get your like information from. You kind of like if you, which is not necessarily training schedule specific, but if you're getting like general training advice from I guess non-runners, maybe runners but not non-professionals in the area, or established athletes, you may be misinformed in terms of what is appropriate. So just make sure that you get your information from good sources, I guess is what I'm saying.
Yeah, when we onboard athletes, like we, it's probably a good place to talk about this. Is like when we onboard, new athletes, we set runners up with their pace and their heart rate zones, and spend a bit of time on sort of schooling them up on how heart rate and pace zones interrelate with RPE zones, and it just sets the athlete up for success from the get-go. And we do that by reviewing data from that the runner brings with them, or sometimes if we haven't got the data, we'll do some kind of threshold session, lactate threshold session, if it's safe to do so. If we're not going to injure them, we'll do like a lactate threshold session, and from that we can pull zones and pull heart rate data, and the data doesn't lie. And from that we can predict half marathon times, marathon times, all that kind of stuff. And that's like a really good starting point for athletes, rather than like an athlete self-guiding, I want to run a 3:30 or a 3-hour marathon, and just punching in those numbers to an app and getting misprescribed training. That's our sort of process. And I guess part of that as well is just even finding that runs per week. Like what amount of runs per week is suited to this individual? So we've got the pace zones, got the heart rate zones. Okay, now how many runs is good for them? Like, and what's the sort of duration of those runs that's going to be good for them? Are they a 3 times a week runner? Maybe they have a history of, we do questionnaires and get to know athletes. Maybe they have a history of injuries or niggles, and then so it's like, we've got to be careful building this one up. We're going to just do 3 runs. It's going to be mostly easy, and we're going to have an indoor bike in there, and then a couple of strength sessions, that kind of thing. Or maybe they don't have much injury background, and so therefore they're like that 4 to 5 times a week runner, and they can tolerate that and get adaptations from their day.
Yeah,
much easier. Yeah, and sometimes they don't only need 1 strength session per week as well. Like someone in their 20s who's grown up being an athlete, I would say a lot of those individuals, 1 strength session a week is actually pretty good, alongside some other little maintenance things, and then they're doing 5 runs a week, that kind of thing, and they're just recovering well.
Very good. That's a very well detailed explanation of what we do.
Just to close out, do we want to talk about this? Like, just solutions that runners can look at. Like, if you're listening to this, you've clicked on this podcast, you are the one that keeps getting injured, you're at a loss. What are some solutions you can look at? Some tips that you can take out of this podcast?
So being realistic about what you're capable of in terms of your training load. I think this is a big thing that we have covered, and I think is a big key thing and why you could keep getting injured. Getting help, navigating the points that are preventing you from the process.
From progress, sorry.
Going to see that physio opposed to saying you're going to go see that physio, and spending some money on a good physio could also be a game changer as well. Spending some money is appropriate sometimes.
Yeah, it's an investment in yourself, in your health, in your well-being, in your progress.
Don't sabotage your physio. And or it's going to see a nutritionist, or it's getting a run coach and getting a service like what Chris just explained. Maybe it's life coaching.
Or even counselling.
Every runner has their sweet spot, no matter how low or high it may seem. There's no magic number in terms of how many Ks you need to do to get you to a goal. It's what works for you. And, just a little quote that from Steve Magnus about what coaching is. And it's 90% of coaching is stopping athletes from doing stupid shit. We all sometimes are a little bit ill-disciplined, and it's okay to be ill-disciplined at times. We're not going to be like, military sergeants here drilling. At the end of the day, we're all humans and we do make mistakes from time to time, but sometimes there are mistakes that are just obvious, that they're just blatant mistakes. We can stop you from doing that stupid shit.
Yes. On that note, that's a nice place to finish, isn't it?
Yeah.
So I really hope you've enjoyed this podcast and this chat that we've had. And just reach out, flick us a message on Instagram or email us if you have any feedback or queries about any of the things we've talked about today. If you want to level up your running, no matter what that looks like to you. Maybe that's about getting consistency from your niggles or injuries, or getting those faster times, or whatever the running goals. If you want to level up, give us a shout. Jump on our website, cmfrunning.nz. You can book a free coach call. We coach match you to one of our team, and you can start your journey to leveling up your running.
Awesome, guys. Have fun in all your training and in your running.
See you later.
Bye.